and I'm just like, damn, like how long it's been.
Yep.
It says your stream is reduced video quality.
Let me see.
Warning
I'm,
saying 5S.
I got an ad break right now, so whenever this ad break is over, I'll check.
The source
What
is
are you talking
5 frames per second. 5.
Oh,
5
well, I'm
frames
watching it
per
on both.
second.
I'm giving you. Yeah, it says reduced video. I mean, it should be alright either way.
Well, I mean, it's a PowerPoint. It's not like we're watching.
Yeah.
All right, now we're at 60 FPS. We need all that.
It was at 3, so.
Oh.
Okay, it should be better.
Just vibing with the music.
I got it muted.
Alright, kid, we can go as soon as you're, Is everyone here, actually? Who are we missing?
Who's supposed to be here?
2, 3.
I think we might have everybody.
Who's, who's number 3 odds?
We're short 3 teams.
Oh.
Coco's here.
Oh.
Waiting on.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, wait. Sheppy's 1, 1, 2.
I just saw
2
Kid
teams.
bow tie.
Kid isn't in the lotto, right?
No,
He doesn't have
he's
a lot of
presenting. He's presenting for us.
Like, fuck. Why do I just read the league chat right now?
League chats.
God damn it. God damn it.
I think. Okay.
Who keeps leaving?
I don't know. Oh, our sponsor.
Frank.
Kid, you can take it away.
All right. Hello and welcome to the 2021 second annual. Sorry, I forgot about, don't worry about it. Second annual NBN draft lottery. I am your host, Kid Monotone. And since my team is really good, I have no stake in these events and will be presenting the predetermined lottery order, which has been verified by a very qualified team of like Cheppy and Killer and myself or something like that. I don't even remember. But before we get to our lottery, we have some team representatives here from the Clippers. I'm sorry if I screw any of the teams up. I think I know. From the Clippers, we have Mega.
Woo!
Woo. From the Pelicans, we have Jimothy.
Yo, yo, yo.
Do we have a Grizzlies rep? I think we do. No, we don't. Sad.
We have Meme.
Was Meme on the call? We have Meme. Oh yeah, we have Meme. From the Sixers, we have K-Man. From the Bulls, we have Chi-Town.
Let's go.
From the Suns, we have Matt.
Yo, yo, yo.
And I'll say the Sixers again because I didn't take long enough last time, and they happen to have 2 picks here in this draft. We once again have K-Man. The Grizzlies also have 2 picks here, and I'm going in reverse lottery order, by the way. The Spurs have no representative here. From the Hornets, we have Ella.
How you doing?
From the Cavaliers, we have Killer. From the Thunder, we have Kyle. From the Knicks, we have Cheppy, who already knows the results of this lottery. And from the Pistons, we have CF. So without further ado, let's take it away. The first pit now. We're gonna go in reverse order. First of all, here's our lottery odds.
That's 2020.
Yeah, that's fine. Wait.
Wait, it's the wrong one. I opened the wrong.
Oh, dear.
Hold on. I
As
opened
long
the
as the results for the
wrong.
pick end the same, I'm fine.
I opened the
That
wrong
would be
presentation.
the worst thing.
Jesus.
Off to a good start, boss.
Nice. Still our spot.
Tried to read. Also.
A few things to note about this year's lottery odds. We do have a few teams that acquired lottery picks, such as the Sixers, who acquired the ninth pick from the Wizards in the Joel Embiid trade. And we have the Grizzlies with the 12th pick from the Utah Jazz, acquired, I'm not sure when, but that's theirs. Also, a couple protections to take note of. The 13th pick belonging to the Lakers will go to the New Orleans Pelicans if it is a top 7 pick. So if the Lakers pick is one of the lottery winners, that will be transferred to the Pelicans. I forgot to mention, representing the Lakers, we have Coco as well. Another protection, the 12th pick, the Grizzlies pick from Utah, it will go to the Jazz. It is protected 1 through 7. So if it wins the lottery, then the Jazz will keep that pick, and it will be a top 4 pick for Utah rather than the 12th or so pick for the Grizzlies. But without further ado, as you can see, the recently flattened lottery odds give the Pistons, Knicks, Thunder all equal shot at the number 1 overall pick. But without further ado, I think we are ready to get started. Should I go ahead and read the 14th, announce the 14th? Okay, cool. And with the 14th pick in the 2021, why am I announcing it like this? The 14th pick belongs to the Los Angeles Clippers, as expected. And the Clippers will have this late lottery selection. They have a lot of uncertainty coming up this offseason after trading away their 2-star players. Kyle Lowry and Julius Randle may or may not be back in the fold for next season, but it will be interesting to see how they use this pick to add into their recently overhauled core. Are we just going to get a quote from every front office that's here, Cheppy? Is that the plan?
Oh, we can. Well, Mega showed up. Mega, do you have something to say?
Yeah, I have 2 things to say. First things first, I totally forgot that we had Emmanuel Mudiay. And the second thing is, I'm open to trading this if anybody wants to have it. Mega.
Message me.
Well, there you have it. Clippers with the I got ahead of myself. Not that that's a spoiler, but next, expected to be the 13th pick here is the Pelicans. Now, a reminder, if this pick does show up as any other team, then that means that the pick will have moved into the top 4 and will belong to the... Wait.
Oh my god.
Wait. I had that backwards. Anyways.
So
We get-
Pelicans.
Oh wait, so was supposed to go to Lakers?
It's the Lakers. Sorry, it's the Lakers pick.
Oh,
It's the Lakers pick.
Let's reverse
The
it.
Lakers pick is going to the Pelicans.
that to
top
us.
4. My bad. I had that flip flop. But yes, as expected, the Lakers will maintain this pick, and it will not end up in the top 4. Lakers had a very much maligned offseason last season, trading away both LeBron James and who's the other one? Anthony Davis. That might have been during the season, actually, if I remember correctly.
No, it was
Regardless,
last season.
I see. Well, there you go. Regardless, the moves were not quite enough to get them into the playoffs with their new roster, but hopefully some of the draft capital that they received will get them back to the mountaintop. But as of right now, they have a ways to go. Rudy Gobert is an unrestricted free agent this offseason, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. But they will have the 13th pick to go towards those efforts. Coco, do you have anything to say about 13th pick?
Just glad we get to keep it.
Aren't we all? I'm sure it won't be yours for long, but who am I to talk? Next, we're about to move on to our 12th overall pick. Another protection here. This is the Jazz pick. It will remain with the Jazz if it is a top 4 selection. However, if it does not get chosen in the lottery, then it will be transferred over to the Memphis Grizzlies as the second of their 2 lottery picks. And the 12th pick will belong to the Memphis Grizzlies. So this is not going to stay with the Jazz. This will drop back and stay at the 12th spot and will be transferred over to the Grizzlies, giving them 2 top 12 picks in this draft. And then can I get their team page?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the Grizzlies did not quite make the playoffs, but I don't think they're really trying to last season with their very, very young core. They're going to get a late lottery selection to add to Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. and DeAnthony Melton and all those other guys. Not a lot of huge uncertainty going on in the offseason for this team, so they will mostly look to add rather than subtract with this selection at number 12. And now we're about to find out who is the winner of our 11th selection. And the 11th pick is expected to go to the Philadelphia 76ers. This will be the second of their 2 picks in this lottery, so they are guaranteed 2 top 11 picks. But will it move up into the top 4? Let's find out. The 11th pick will stay with Philadelphia. And they also are expected to have another pick at number 9 unless something changes. Unless we have a underdog rise up to the top 4. But do we have a team page after this one? Okay. Yeah, and the Sixers were another very active team in last year's offseason, trading away Joel Embiid, as we all know, as well as a lot of their core getting in return lots of young forwards. I realize now that I accidentally forgot to go over to Meme. Meme, in response to your 12th pick, do you have anything to say about that? I don't know if he's even unmuted. Oh, nice. We see the
I'll take over for Meme right now. Let's go Grizzlies. Yeah.
That seems to be the message being communicated by the Grizzlies can being displayed on his screen. Anyways, back over to the Philadelphia 76ers. You are the winners of the 11th pick. K-Man, do you have any comments on this development?
Let's keep it rolling for number 9.
Right, will do. And upcoming, we're about to discover the owners of the number 10 selection. This is expected to be the Chicago Bulls. They have a 2.2% chance at getting that top spot. But will they move up, or will this show up as a Chicago pick? Let's find out. The 10th pick will belong to the Chicago Bulls, so no movement so far with our first 5 picks in the lottery. Chicago was a team that made a lot of in-season trades. If I'm remembering correctly, they got a lot younger in addition to having Draymond Green on their roster. It'll be interesting to see what steps they make towards adding to their young core and trying to move in the positive direction, as this might be a roster that could potentially make the Eastern Conference playoffs in 2022. Chi-Town, reactions to the 10th overall pick going to Chicago.
I'm just glad we didn't get jumped, but we've got 7 firsts in the next 2 years, and we're willing to package whatever we have to move up in this draft. So get at me or Claxton, and we'll be active.
Well, you heard it here, folks. The Bulls are looking to be on the market for moving up in this draft with their package of decent first-round picks, but of course none in the top 9 of this year's draft, it would seem. And now we go over to our 9th pick. The Philadelphia 76ers, as I mentioned earlier, acquired the 9th pick from the Washington Wizards. So this may show up as a Philadelphia pick, or they may have moved into the lottery for yet another time in the last 10 or so years. So the 9th pick from Washington will belong to the Philadelphia 76ers. Once again, no movement, and both the Sixers picks strike out, but still nice to look at that 9th and 11th pick going to Philadelphia. And as we mentioned, they are a very young team, and no doubt will make a lot of moves towards bolstering a more solid core to make a run at the playoffs next year, or maybe not. Who knows with those guys? That's what we thought last season, and look what happened. And now, number 8, we're about to discover who has the 8th pick. This is expected to be the Phoenix Suns, who have a 6% chance at getting that top spot. And so, the 8th pick will belong to the Memphis Grizzlies. Meaning, and you can see the reaction there for Matt, the Suns representative. This means that the Grizzlies pick drops down from 7th to 8th, and the Phoenix Suns have moved into the top 4 of this very talented draft class. And Matt, what do you have to say about finding out that you're going to have a top 4 pick?
Let's go!
There you go. And of course, this is going to be Memphis' 2nd pick in the top 12. So Memphis will have both the 7 and the 12, the only team other than Philadelphia to have 2 lottery selections at the moment. We'll see if that changes. I have no doubt that it very well might. So that means that the 7th pick, expected to go to the Grizzlies, is now expected to go to the San Antonio Spurs, who have a 9% shot at that top selection. So the 7th overall pick will go to the Charlotte Hornets, meaning that the Spurs have also moved into the top 4 of this lottery, where they will join 2 of the Pistons, the Knicks, the Thunder, and the Cavaliers as top 4 teams. Tough break for the Hornets. Fella, do you have a reaction to ending up not only not in the top 4, but also maybe a couple spots lower than you might have expected?
Yeah, this might be one of the worst days of my life. Pretty down there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The disappointment's immeasurable.
It's tough stuff. But we saw Kyra Lewis Jr. as their surprise lottery pick last year. We'll see if the Hornets have another interesting selection waiting in the wings, or if they will stick to something more conventional this year with that 7th overall pick. And as you can see, young team, lots of players going to other destinations potentially this offseason, and lots of cap space no doubt being freed up for the Hornets as well to bolster what is kind of a thin, uninspiring young core, but we'll see. Next, we're going to have our 6th pick, I believe. 5th pick? 6th pick. And with the Spurs and the Suns moving up, this is now expected to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. If it shows up as Detroit, New York, or Oklahoma City, then that means the Cavaliers have jumped into the top 4 of this lottery. Now, the Cavaliers do have a 12.5% chance at that 1st overall pick. Let's reveal the 6th selection. And it will belong to Cleveland. So Cleveland strikes out in the lottery, but they'll still have a very respectable 6th overall selection, dropping down a couple spots from where they might have been expected. Killer, thoughts on getting that 6th overall pick? Fuck, it's rigged. Perhaps. Now, Killer was in fact one of the members who ensured that it wasn't a rigged process, but I'll let him
He wasn't there.
say what he's gonna say. Oh, okay, never mind. I take it back. And as you can see, here's the Cavaliers depth chart. Lots of youth, as is probably the theme for a lot of these teams who maybe aren't quite playoff ready just yet. But Cavaliers roster definitely one on the up and up, and I'd say the 6th pick is someone who could very easily turn into a starter within a couple of years. But now we're going to go to the 5th pick. But first, just to update you on where we stand, we have the Suns as a top 4 team. We have the Spurs as a top 4 team, which means that our 3 remaining teams, the Pistons, the Knicks, the Thunder, who all had the exact same amount ping pong balls, one of them will not be so lucky and will drop a few spots down to that 5th slot. The other 2 will join the Suns and the Spurs as top 4 teams in this lottery. And I'd say it's interesting because by all scouts and pundits, this is definitely a class with a top clear tier of 4 elite players in Cade and Mobley and Jalen Suggs and Jalen Green. But we'll see. Still plenty of talent to be had at all the other selections as well. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and reveal the 5th pick. The final team to not quite luck out getting that 5th selection is the Oklahoma City Thunder. They will end up with that 5th pick, meaning that both the Pistons and the Knicks are also going to get top 4 selections, and we will see how it shakes out between Detroit, New York, Phoenix, and San Antonio. Kyle, any reactions to this tough break for the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Looks like Shea's gonna spend a lot of time in Paris next season.
We would expect nothing less. We may never see him again. But let's go ahead and look at the outlook for Thunder. Slide. And not pictured on this depth chart is the dozens of second-round picks that the Thunder have acquired over the next several years. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who technically is still part of the Thunder despite his lack of appearances for the team in what might be considered meaningful games, and a very uninspiring small forward group that I'm looking at right now as well. So it'll be an interesting offseason for the Thunder. See what they have up their sleeve. A lot of guys not under contract for next year. And now let's go to the top 4 selections. As I mentioned, these will belong to one of the Pistons or the Knicks, who had the best odds, or perhaps the Spurs, followed by the Suns as well, who had slightly lesser odds at the top spot. So that 4th selection is going to, end up with the San Antonio Spurs. And no doubt, I'm sure they wanted a top 3 selection, but still very talented players, as I mentioned, to be had with that number 4 spot. And the Spurs move up a couple spots from where they're expected to. They're going to add another nice piece to a core that's very young, but also very promising with DeJounte Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Rui Hachimura, etc., etc. And it looks like they could end up running it back largely with the same core and just let them develop in addition to whoever this 4th pick turns out to be. And now we have 3 spots left, and one will belong to the Pistons, one will belong to the New York Knicks, and one will belong to the Phoenix Suns, who continue to move up the board despite having the 8th best odds in this draft. So the 3rd selection will belong to the Phoenix Suns. So once again, a team that I'm sure, no doubt, would rather have their selection of those top 3 prospects on their board, whoever they may be. But at the end of the day, far better outcome than they probably were expecting. They only had a 6% chance at that top spot, and not much better for a top 3 spot in general. But as we see the Suns depth chart, obviously plenty of talent on the roster already between Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. It'll be interesting to see which of these talented rookies they're going to add and maybe form a big three of their own, in addition to several quality young players like Bridges, like Kane Johnson, and many, many, many more. But that leaves us with a relatively expected, as much as you can expect anything with how flattened out the lottery odds have been in recent years, the Detroit Pistons and the New York Knicks, the bottom two teams by virtue of their records in the NBN this past season. One of them will get the second selection. One of them will get the first selection. I believe we're going to reveal them both at the same time. And so the second selection will belong to, I think it's second selection. Second selection will belong to the Knicks, meaning that the Detroit Pistons have won another back-to-back first overall pick. And the New York Knicks still get a very respectable second pick, as was expected going into this lottery. And Chepiers, we'll go ahead and throw it over to you. You saw this coming because you, of course, were on the team to help run the draft lottery. But now that it's been made public, what are your thoughts on getting the second overall pick in this draft?
Well, it's the pick that I was owed. It's the pick that I deserve. So it's the pick that I got. And I'm pretty happy with that. So fun being
Fair
here.
enough. Fair enough. And CF, your team's done it again. You'll have Anthony Edwards already in the mix. What are your thoughts on adding another first overall selection? Detroit Pistons.
Quote my boy Matt. Let's go. No. Honestly though, I'm hyped getting Cade. I mean, well, getting the first pick is extremely exciting. Just ready to build this team, and hopefully the NBA Pistons follow suit with the first overall pick too.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. And folks, there you have it. That is our current, I do say current, 2021 top 14 draft selections, but I'm sure that no doubt will change. We had a brief overview of the Pistons and Knicks rosters, but who really cares? The main thing you need to know is that they're going to get a very talented player with these first two picks of this draft. And so, to recap, our big winners tonight were the Pistons and the Knicks, who came out on top with the first and second overall selection, as Chalk would have predicted. But then you also have the Phoenix Suns moving up from the 8th best odds into that third selection. And also the San Antonio Spurs moving up a couple spots as well, knocking the Thunder and the Cavs out of the top four, and even knocking the Hornets a couple spots lower than expected as well. And folks, that is going to wrap up our 2021. Ignore the 2020 there. Our 2021 draft lottery selection show. Just a few reminders: the draft will be split into 2 days, I should say, this year. First round will be entire. It will have a day to itself. Saturday, July 24th. Set your calendars, mark your calendars, and then, especially if you're the Thunder, mark your calendars for the following day, Sunday, July 25th, for our second round. And I want to thank all of the team representatives for showing up and getting on camera and representing your teams. And I wish all of you the best of luck in trying to climb to the mountaintop, starting with this 2021 NBN draft.
Shenanigans.
There's the
Shenanigans.